Now, before we get to the family courts, has the concept of innocent until proven guilty been eroded by feminism? After all, they brought us the #MeToo and #BelieveAllWomen phrases.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They're working very hard on that one. For really a good decade now, we've seen systematic erosion in, the basic legal rights of a man being accused, for instance, of sexual assault. The laws endlessly tilted to protect victims. I mean, obviously there was an issue when it came to rape, in terms of rape victims not necessarily being properly heard, not having a very difficult time when they went to report it to the police, et cetera, et cetera. And, I think we've put in really a lot of important measures to address that. But boy, have we gone overboard now. And, I mean, the latest thing in the news this week was the Attorney General announcing proudly that they're considering removing juries from rape trials. I mean, they're trying to endlessly work out ways of fixing this. So the poor bloke has no hope at all. We saw, of course, in the Bruce Lehrmann case that, there was dissected in great detail in the ACT inquiry, the Sofronoff inquiry, where they really exposed the fact that the whole ACT justice system has been working to ensure police can't do their job, to make sure that all cases go straight through to the court. They're not properly investigated, information is withheld. I mean, it's a process of putting it all before juries and hoping juries do the right thing, which is to nail these guys. And
it's so disappointing, because I think everyone can get behind the let's increase the ability to convict actual rapists. Everyone wants to see rapists in jail. That's just a given. But what they don't want to see is a society of witch hunting and the erosion of innocence until proven guilty. I mean, we even saw a Prime Minister lean on the side of guilt before proof on several cases, not just rape trials. It's an institutional problem with our politicians, who seem to prefer the headlines to the actual notion of, is this person guilty and should they be punished? Now, the notion of innocence and guilt has been attached to gender identity, and this is crucial because it's the idea that women are inherently truthful and men are inherently liars, particularly when it comes to things like the family court system where there's children involved. Now, how dangerous can this be as far as justice goes when you've got a legal identity that assumes that if a man is accused of violence, well, that's probably true, rather than assuming innocence or wanting to work it out? How devastating is that for the family courts, and what happens to children in custody sharing arrangements?
Look, the violence card has been used by the feminists in Australia for decades now to weaponise the family court against men, and it just works such a treat. You don't even need to allege that violence has occurred. You can simply say, I fear he could hurt me. I'm fearful of him. You don't need any evidence whatsoever to have that man removed from his home. You get a violence order against him. Often it's years before he sees his kids. Even if he does, he has to pay for supervised contact with those kids.